members within the frum world. And we should all be Satmar, because the Satmar Hasidim are the majority of Shomer Shabbos Jews in America. Obviously, we don't need to be Satmars, and that's because size of communities doesn't matter. What does matter, according to Torah, is that we preach Torah values, as Rabbi Levin did. And there's no reason for you to keep yapping about the size of Rabbi Levin's shul unless you're trying to marginalize him as some sort of extremist nut job. And if that's the case, that pisses me off. What is your reason for continuing your obsession and compulsion to tell us the size of his shul every time you mention him?
Well, it gives you an idea of how much influence he has. So, hey, you just 3 minutes ago you were complaining about how our ratings were way down. Like, obviously, size of following our virtual shul online matters to you. So, on the one hand, when you know numbers are something you want to talk about, then you cite the numbers. But on the other hand, if I cite the numbers in an area where you don't want to talk about numbers, then that's just, I'm just trying to marginalize the guy. The guy's already marginal.
No, I can answer that.
Okay.
I want ratings to go higher because I want to reach more people.
Yeah.
Right? I don't know if Rabbi Levin wants bigger numbers to reach more people. I'd have to ask him that. I don't know. Right?
What do you think?
But I
what
don't
does Colin suggest?
I don't know. He might not care. I don't know this guy. I'd have to ask him. I would like more people to be tuned in.
Right.
Okay?
So would I.
Okay? That's the you don't act like it because you put the previous you start up at the chair here for 4 minutes.
The singing Go West? Do you think that was killing the audience?
Oh my God.
That was the highest rating video of all the videos.
Because they all tuned out after that. That's why. They tuned out. Okay. What was I saying? That I care about, I do care about ratings, and I wouldn't like necessarily somebody to say, Rabbi Rabbs, a marginal rabbi who only talks to, a couple hundred people on, on YouTube.
Yeah.
I wouldn't want to be described in that. What difference does it make? Why do I have to marginalize my words by how many people are watching? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
That's, yes, I would like more people, but that's not the way you should be describing people. Because it doesn't matter how many people are watching. What I'm saying is the truth. What Rabbi Levin said was the truth. It doesn't matter. And this I put on my Facebook last week. Do you remember seeing it?
Yeah.
I would rather have a rabbi with 25 members, and that rabbi tells the members that they should vote according to Torah values,
right,
than have a rabbi with 25,000 members, and he tells them all to vote according to which corrupt politician will shtup them with the most gelt, will give them the most amount of money, and promises, oh, we'll give you this XYZ. Because I want the guy who tells you to vote according to Torah values. Torah values is what is important.
Right.
Right? I don't care about numbers. What do I care about numbers? If I wanted to go with the group that's the biggest, I'd join the Muslims. I'd join the Buddhists. I think they have 2 billion people on the Buddhists, huh? And the Islam is another 1.5 billion, and the Catholics are another 1 billion or something worldwide.
Mm-hmm.
Jews are like tiny, right? Why would I be Jewish? Why would I care, right? If I'm a Jew, right, and I want to go with the majority, I'd marry a shiksa and what else do they do? Join Stephen S. Weiss, and what else do they do?
Vote Democratic.
Vote lefties, and what else? I don't know. Whatever.
March for Gay Pride.
Right. And if I say, okay, I want to go where all the most people are, I should move to Williamsburg or Monroe, New York, and join the Satmars because they're the majority. But who cares? Who cares about numbers? Now, here comes your contradiction. Okay, here comes your contradiction. I stated that payas, these, are mainstream Judaism.
Mm-hmm.
And you dismissed my words because you said, no, those are not mainstream. You said those are extreme. That's what you said in the video. And I said, here's the point. Satmars have payas.
Right. Chabad do not, by the way.
Yeah, but they're smaller.
Yeah.
Satmars are the majority of people of Frumies in America, which means that most Frumies in America have payas, and thus it is not extreme, but it's mainstream. It follows the majority of what most Frum Jews do. Hence, if you count numbers like you do with Rabbi Levin's shul, then you have to admit that payas are normative. If you don't count numbers, and you don't feel that payas are normative, then you should stop mentioning the size of his congregation. So you're going to have to choose which one. Are numbers and size important to you? Does size matter to you? Do numbers play... Does size matter? That's what you have to decide.
Yeah, I think size matters.
Then you have to admit that payas are normative.
Well, I then accept that the majority of Frum Jews are Satmar.
Oh my God.
But I simply don't know. So I don't deny it, I just don't accept it. But I don't deny it. I'm simply agnostic.
How many Frum Jews do you think there are in America?
About, what's 10% of 5 million?
500,000.
500,000.
I think it's more than that, personally. I think,
okay, yeah, probably 700,000.
I think
Say
it's...
a million.
I think it's close to... I think it's somewhere between 1 million and 2 million people.
Okay.
That's where I think it is.
Okay.
And do you honestly think that Satmars is not the majority of that?
I don't know. I don't know. It's hard for me to believe that they are the majority of that. That they are 51% or more of that. That they're 500.
Why is that difficult for you to believe?
Why is that difficult for me to believe? I don't know. Just my sense of Orthodox Jews is not that more than half of them are Satmar, but because I know that the numbers of modern Orthodox versus traditional Orthodox in America are about even. So therefore, I find it, now that I remember that statistic, I find it impossible to believe.
Where did you see that statistic?
I don't remember. But hey, people can Google and find out. I'm not going to take out the program talking about things I don't know. The best of my knowledge, number of traditional Orthodox and modern Orthodox in America are 50-50, and that Satmar therefore would account for maybe 20% of Orthodox Jews in America. According to Rabbi Rabbs, they account for more than 50%. I'm not a sociologist. I don't have these numbers at my fingertips. Go and study.
I would also say this. I saw these things, I knew of this 25 years ago at least, more than 25 years ago. I'm going to say close to 30 years ago, Satmar was the biggest, represented the majority of Frum Jews in America. Since that, they reproduce at an astronomical rate. They blow out litters, right? They average like 8 kids per family.
Yeah.
Modern Orthodox, but it has maybe like
3 kids.
3 or 4. I'll say 4. I'll say 4. They're multiplying exponentially faster than modern Orthodox. So not only were they already 51% or more, let's say 1980, but we're like 30 years later they ballooned. That's why I don't think it's possible that there's less than 1 million Frumies, because there was already these same numbers 30 years ago. And people like have produced a whole you know what I mean? I think we're working with really old numbers. I think that there's far more than 5 million Jews in America. And the reason I say that is because they're not accounting for the 1 million Satmars who are playing it under the radar. So I think there's like close to 6 or 7 million in America, and I think it's probably close to 2 million are Frum, and we're going to be on the increase.
So you think there are 1 million Satmars in America?
Very likely.
Okay, well, I don't think you should take the word of either of us. I think you should go Google it and look for competent authorities, but you heard 2 opinions. So.
I think it's very likely. Here's my reasoning.
Okay.
25 years ago, if we had, let's say, 200,000 Satmars, 30 years ago,